I'm going to show you how to use two fantastic health-enhancing bioresonance devices, the Devita Mini AP and the Devita Mini Rhythm. These look very similar, but they do completely different things, and as you may know if you've ordered these, the work that each of them do very much works in conjunction with the other. The programs in each device complements that of the other to bring about some fantastic health changes. On the one hand, you have the AP device working to detox and eliminate all the toxins and pathogenic microorganisms in your body, and on the other hand we have the Devita Rhythm working to build up, to recalibrate and rejuvenate the healthy functioning of your organs and cells. So they work very well together, and so you may well have ordered both of them. And the first thing I'd like to show you is that the boxes look the same for each of these, and very often people think, oh dear, I've been sent two of the same device. So have a look at the ends and you'll see that at one end there's a white lozenge shape, and at the other end there's the same shape with a number on. And if I hold these two close, you can see that these two ends have numbers, and above the number you have the name of the device. So the top one here says Devita AP and this one says Devita RITM. So this is the way that you know that you have been sent two separate devices. Now inside the box you'll have everything that you need, and one of those things will be an instruction manual. Please don't throw it away, because on the back pages you have your warranty, so that's quite important to keep. So once you've got your devices, you'll want to know how to use them, and they both operate in exactly the same way. So I'm going to just show you with one of them. The first thing is that you'll have a protective piece of plastic across the screen, and this little pointy finger here is a little bit of sticky tape that you can pull down on to peel that off, just like when you buy a new mobile phone. And just above the pointy finger, if I turn this over, you have the on-off button. This is an incredibly simple device, each of them are. There's only one button that you can actually press to turn it on, and that's what I've just done, and you can see the screen coming to light there. Now before you can use this for any length of time, you're going to need to charge each of these up. So you'll find in your box a little tiny charging cable with a USB port at one end and a smaller port at the other, or smaller, whatever you call that bit, at the other end. And if you turn either of your devices over, you'll see on the left hand side there's a little charging port. So very simply, you take the smaller end and insert it into the charging port, and you take the USB end and ideally insert that into your computer. But you could also use a USB plug if you have one, but please make sure that the output isn't too high. 5 watts, 1 amp is about right. Once you've plugged this in to your computer or another charging plug, turn the device on, and you will see in the top right hand corner a little battery, again rather like on a mobile phone, a battery icon that will have potentially 3, when it's fully charged, 3 white blocks showing. Now when this first arrives it will probably have 1 or 2 or maybe no blocks in there. So when it's plugged in, you will see those blocks beginning to move, beginning to fill up, and once you know it's charging, please turn the device off and leave it for 2 or 3 hours. Usually after 3 hours it's fully charged, and you can check that by turning it on and checking to see if the battery icon is filled up. If it's not, just turn it off again and leave it for another half hour or so. Now depending on how often you use your devices, you may find you need to charge this up every couple of days, or you may be able to go many days without charging it up. So just check the battery every now and then. What will happen is it will go from 3 white blocks of fully charged to 2, and from 2 to red. And when you see the battery turning red, this is a bit like driving your car, looking at the fuel gauge and seeing that the needle is just heading into the reserve tank. It's basically saying there's still some juice in it, there's some life, but it needs charging up because you're running low. If you let it completely run down, you'll get a message saying, kind of battery needs charging, something like that. So once you've charged it up, you can then get to work using the many programs that are in each of these devices. So you're going to need to turn it on again by pressing this button. And the first time you turn this on, you're likely to see this screen, which has a menu with only two options: complexes and settings. Now, the way you can navigate through the different options on this device is by using the two buttons here, sorry, not buttons, arrows, to scroll up and down. So it's incredibly simple. You can scroll up or down by pressing those arrows, and the blue cursor will move. Now, if for some reason you want to change the language on here, or set the time to use this as a clock, or you want to have the beeps every time you press a button, or you don't want to have any beeps every time you press a button, you can move the cursor to settings. And in order to get the settings, you need to press the OK sign in the middle. So where it says OK, if you press there, it will take you to settings, and then you can use the arrows to scroll down to whichever of these headings you'd like. Now, when you've done that, you can press this curvy arrow, which is the back button. This will always take you back to the previous screen. And you might move the arrows to choose this heading, complexes. And this is really what you're going to be dealing with. Most of the time you're not going to need this menu choosing between settings and complexes. Most of the time you'll turn the device on and it will be where you left off last time with a complex. And a complex means a family heading for a set of programs. Within each complex there are many smaller programs, and they're categorized together in different families. So for instance, you'll see when you scroll through the complexes, there's one for the immune system, there's one for heart and circulation, there's one for digestion, there's one for coronavirus, and so on and so forth. And if you click OK when any of these complexes are showing on the screen, you will be taken to all the programs within that complex, within that family heading, that have something to do with that heading or that theme. So let's have a look at how we do that. We turn the machine on, we choose complexes and press OK, and then we'll be taken to all the different complexes, which each have little icons, and you can scroll through them by pressing the arrows up or down. It will cycle through them, and when you find one that you would like to work with, so this one says heart and circulation, let's go with that, you press OK, and then you will see a long list of smaller programs that have names. Some of them you'll understand, probably some of them you won't, that have something to do with improving heart and circulation. Again, if you want to work with any of these, you just press the OK button and the program will start. Just so you know, as you scroll through, some of these programs will be individual programs that are relatively short. They might be a few minutes, they might be an hour, they might be anywhere in between, or even a bit longer. But at some point, as you scroll through, let's just find the point, you will start seeing programs that say automatic underneath. And these automatic programs are longer programs that consist of several shorter programs all strung together into one program that may be 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or so hours long. But I'll say more about that in a little bit. So let's say you've chosen a program that you want to run. To run it, you have to press the OK button, and you can hopefully see there, when you press OK and the program starts running, a little red light appears, and that red light will fade in and out. That's what it's supposed to do. It will do that at different speeds, and that's telling you that the program's running. So then you can put this in a pocket or somewhere secure and go about your daily activities, or if you're using this in the evening, you can go off to bed. I'll talk in a minute about how you can best attach it to your body, but I want to show you a couple of options that you have when the program is running. turn that on again. So when a program is running, the screen will show you a countdown clock at the top. It will tell you how many minutes you've got left of the program, and it will say shut down ? Now, what I haven't said, and you can see this happening, is that every couple of seconds the device will turn itself off to preserve the battery. There's nothing wrong, this is what it's supposed to do, so please be prepared to turn the device on a few times when you're working with it. So it asks you, do you want to shut down? And the answers are yes, pause or no. So if for some reason you've chosen the wrong program and you think, whoops, I don't want that one, you use the arrow to move down to yes. Shut down, yes. And then you press OK and the red light will turn off and the whole thing's stopped. But it might be you chose the correct program and you've started running it, and then you realise you want to go and have a shower, and you obviously can't take the device into the shower. So in this instance, you use the arrow to move the blue cursor down to pause, and then you press OK. And then the program you're running will pause for an hour, and you will have 60 minutes counted down showing on the top of the display. But maybe you've had your shower and now you want to carry on with the programs. So when you look at the screen, it says quit the pause ? And if you use the arrow to move down to yes, I want to quit the pause, and you press OK, then the program will go back to where it was when you left off, and the time will show for the remaining amount of the program. Now obviously it's better, if you can, to avoid interrupting a program, try to run it through, but there is that pause facility if you need it. If you do pause it and you forget to unpause it within the hour, if an hour goes by, it will then turn itself off and you'll be back to square one. But if you resume it within the hour, then you can simply continue. Good. Now, let me turn that off. There we go. Now, to keep this safe as it's running, you need to have the back of the device against your body. The back of the device emits about 15 centimetres of frequency and the front less so. So you want to have the back of the device in contact with your body, and these devices are quite delicate. If you drop them, if you swing them and they hit something, if you pour water on them by accident, they are not going to like that, and you may damage some of the inner workings. So it's in your interest to keep this very safe and secure. So hopefully you ordered with your device one of these protective cases. If you've got one of these, you can simply put the device into the case so the screen shows, fold over the plastic lid, put it through the retaining strap, and then you've got it in this protective case with a string and a little bead that you can tighten or loosen here. Now, for using this in the day, easy ways of using this are put this around your neck, or you can use the neck strap that comes in the box and just stick it under your clothing so it can't swing around. That's a bit easier in autumn and winter when you're wearing more clothes. In summer, you may not be wearing enough clothes to cover that up. An option for women that works quite well is to slide this into a bra, especially if you're wearing a sports style sort of bra. Another option is to insert it into an elasticated sock. If you've got a long sock that's a little bit elasticy, you could slide this in and wear it around your ankle. My personal favourite, being someone who wears a lot of jeans and trousers, is to put it in a back pocket. And if you are putting it in a back pocket, or a front pocket for that matter, it's worth tying this, looping this around either a belt or the belt loop. So I've got a belt loop on these jeans, and I'm going to show you what I really recommend. Draw the string through the loop with the bead at the end, put the device through the loop and pop it in a pocket with the back of it facing your body. Then take the bead and slide it down to secure the device so that if it did fall out of your pocket, there's no, it's not going to swing or hit anything. And then just put the rest of the thread in your pocket, front or back. And that gives you kind of extra safety. Likewise, if you're inserting it, women, into a bra, I thoroughly recommend, let me take this off, doing the same thing around a bra strap. Just loop it around, tighten up the bead and pop that in. If you are putting this in a pocket, maybe a zippy pocket, rather than looping it around a belt or a belt loop, then a word of warning, this bead here, if you just put it in a pocket, this bead could end up touching the screen, and if there's any pressure applied, that can damage the screen and the device won't work. Likewise, if you put it in a pocket with a bunch of keys, the pressure of the keys could damage the screen. So make sure if you put it in something like a zippy pocket that there's nothing else in there, and slide the bead right the way down to the top, to the lid area, and then put it in your pocket, and that way there's no way the bead can touch the screen because it's right up on top there. So it's really worth taking a little bit of care. Now, those are good ways of using this in the day. Usually the AP device, the detoxing device, is used in the night, and the rhythm device is used in the day. So if you're using your AP device, and you're going to bed with it, you might want to attach it to your body in a slightly different way. And the easiest way that I've found is to either wear a long sock and just slide it into the sock so long as it's a bit elasticated, or to buy a bit of tubey grip bandage, which you can easily buy from somewhere like Boots or pretty much any chemist or pharmacy. It comes in different lengths and different widths, so make sure it's wide enough that it's comfortable, and cut a length roughly 25 centimetres that you can either put around your lower arm or your upper arm, or around your ankle, your lower leg. And with that tubey grip on there, you can then slide the device either in its protective case, or you can take it out. You can slide it under the tubey grip. I tend to do this around my ankle. And then to make sure that there's no way it can slide out, just fold under the bottom edge of the tubey grip so that there's an edge stopping this fall out. And so long as you have a bit of tubey grip that is the right level of elastic for you, so you don't cut off your circulation, personally I find it works well. I don't feel it, it's very easy, and it does its job whilst I'm asleep. Some people have little holders for mobile phones for jogging or orienteering that you can attach to a wrist or an ankle, so that would be something else you could use in the day or the night. You could put the device in some sort of phone holder if you have one. So play around. It sometimes takes a day or two to adjust, but once you're used to it, you'll find you just get on with it and your health begins to change. Okay, let's come back to the programs. I've shown you the arrow buttons and the back button and the OK button, and I've mentioned these headings called complexes. So depending on how you're using this, whether you're using this as a layperson, using it to improve your health, or using it as a kind of mode of DIY first aid kit, or whether you've come to have a bioresonance scan and you've had some tailor-made programs for you, depending on where you're coming from, you're going to use these programs a little differently. If you came for a scan and you've had some tailor-made programs, then you're simply going to use the arrows to scroll through the different complexes until you find the program with your name on, and quite often there'll be your name and it will say day or night depending on whether it's to be used in the day or the night. And if you then click the OK button, you will have a list of your individual programs, and at the end of that list there'll be an automatic one, which is all of them strung together, and that's what you're going to use. You're going to find the automatic program designed for you, press the OK button, and then attach it to your body. However, if you haven't come for bioresonance scan and you're using this as a layperson, you may be following the general 4-month schedule for detoxing and beginning to build up and regenerate your body, and you can find this on the downloads page of my website, which is bioresonanceGB.com. Or you might be wanting to improve a particular area of your life, a particular aspect of your health, in which case that may have a theme. It may be an area of health to do with heart and circulation, or to do with immunity, or to do with digestion, in which case you can scroll through the complexes and find programs to work with there. But again, to give you some guidance for each of these complexes, there's a 4-month schedule laid out in this document called the Complex Catalogue, and you can download this again from my website, bioresonanceGB.com, and in there are these schedules that tell you what to do, which programs to use for general health improvement in these different areas. If you're using this as a first aid tool, for instance, you might wake up with a headache, or you might start getting hay fever, or you might have indigestion, then you can look for the programs specifically to do with headaches or indigestion or allergies. And if you can't find them easily under the complex headings, in the first couple of complexes on each of these devices, the complex is called General List 1, General List 2, I think there's a General List 3 in one of them as well, and there's lots of general programs in there to help with things like headaches, so do have a look in there if you're not sure where to find them. Good, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of know-how, a little bit of advice about how to work with these ingenious devices. What's really important when you're working with them is that you drink lots of water. Your body will be detoxing, and you need at least 1.5 to 2 litres of good clean water each day. The water will also help the frequencies be carried around your body through the fluid system of your body. So do keep drinking, and good luck. I hope you feel a gradual improvement in your health, your strength, your vitality, your energy levels, your moods, etc. Give it some time, weeks, months, and if you need help or advice, or you want to come for a scan, contact me through my website, bioresonanceGB.com. I'm Delia Rosenboom, and for now I wish you lots of luck with improving your health.